Hello and welcome back to Skyrim with me, Chris, otherwise known as Silent8472. So in our last episode we escaped Helgen, and we made it to Riverwood. We got into the... I always forget what this one's called. Riverside Trader? Riverwood Trader. And we basically sold a lot of stuff and we were sent off on a quest to go and start getting a golden claw. Now, quick update on the last episode. I did say I was going to go with big two-handed swingy sword. I've already changed my mind on that. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use magic, and I want to do sword in one hand, magic in the other. So I want to set this as a favourite, and then we're going to need to go to our items and set our current war axe as a favourite as well, so that we can have axe and flame. Okay, so the other thing we're going to kick off with today is levelling up, because we got that at the end of last episode. So if we come here into our skills menu, when we level up we have to always pick to either increase our magic, our health or our stamina. Now this early on I've not got much buff for my magic because I sold all the kit for that, forgetting this, well, not realising this is what I was going to wind up doing. So I'm going to take some additional magic so we can cast more spells. Now this is where I was talking about all the different skills. So you can see we've got destruction at 25, restoration at 15, and as we use them they increase. So you can actually see the restoration bar has been filling because we've been healing ourselves. The background behind all these constellations tell you where it sits. So this is the blue background is all magic, and you can kind of see a kind of wizard guy in the background with his hand and his staff. If we come around, there's our enchanting, which goes between blue and red, magic, warrior. Here is our red warrior skills, where we've got smithing, heavy armour, which again you can see is going up because we're being hit, one-handed, and green we've got our thief skills. So what I want to do is I'm going to try and make the magic last as possible. So we've got one perk to increase, so I'm actually going to go into destruction. I'm going to increase our novice destruction, which means that fire spell I've just set costs us half as much to cast, which means we can do it for longer. So that's our leveling up sorted. Now we need to go and get that golden claw, which is from Bleak Barrow. So if we step outside, we're gonna go and try and get that today and see how far we can get through there. And we've got the opening loading screen because it's one of the early ones. This is the problem with, like I say the problem, where I've got these graphics mods, it means that the game has to load more into it because I've got it on all these settings. I'm hoping it comes through on YouTube with how YouTube sometimes scales stuff down on what the rendering looks like.
We have to go through town and across the bridge to get to Bleak Barrow.
Oh.
You can see it from here, though. The mountain just over the buildings.
Okay, why am I stuck? Okay, that's opening the map, that's not what I want. Okay, if I find this occasionally happens, I'll be right back, I just need to reload the game. Okay, and we're back. Right, I'm not sure why that happens. I think it might be to do with some of the mods I've got, but I've not figured out which one it is. So, here we go, heading off to Bleak Barrow.
I wonder why they only stole Lucan's golden claw. I mean, we have plenty of things in the shop that are worth just as much coin.
Now over there you can see one of the DLC pieces. That's not a mod, that's one of the DLC pieces from the Creation Club, which is controversial to say the least. Partly because they claim to be Bethesda-backed mods, but they charge for them, which was interesting. So I happen to have all of them because I bought the upgrade for the final anniversary, whatever version they've got. So I do have them, but it was, yeah, I remember it causing a bit of a hoo-ha when they let them all loose in the world. Okay, so we're just continuing our way up here, looking for Bleak Barrow, which is actually the first dungeon in the game that everyone gets to, and even if you don't stumble across the Golden Claw like we're going down it from the shop, the main story kind of starts directing you in that direction anyway. So everyone comes this way if they do the story. But yeah, You can see it gets a bit chilly up here. That's the bit without survival mode. We've not got to worry about it getting chilly, but we normally would. And you can just see in the distance we're going to have some bandits to deal with. So I've not actually done a character like how I'm going to try and do it now with the magic and the weapon.
You picked a bad time to get lost, friend.
Whenever I've done magic before, I've always done just pure magic. I've never tried to hybrid it. And normally when I do... oh, what's hitting me still? Ah! Hello, you! And yeah, normally when I do warrior, I'm full warrior, so I've got all of the... Oh, I'm actually going to swap to that steel sword. Looks like it might do slightly less, but they do tier all of the weapons in the game. So swords will... I'm going to count daggers separately because I've never really used them, but swords will swing fastest than everything, but do the least amount of damage per hit, so they're kind of speed over weight. Axes are in the middle, so they'll do a middling amount of damage but swing medium speed. And then you get warhammers and maces, which are the slowest to swing, but each hit deals the most amount of damage. So it does vary. I tend to personally prefer swords because I just like the faster speed of the attack. It also means when we get round to enchanting them, then we're going to have more hits per enchantment, because a lot of the enchantments you get when we get to them will do an effect for each time you hit someone. So the more time you hit them, i.e. with a sword, because it's faster, you're going to get that effect more times, which is again part of the reason I like swords. Right, here we are. Bleak Falls Barrow though. See on our little radar, our little compass at the top, we've got red dots to show we've got someone wanting to shoot at us or hit us with a big stick. Hello! Now I have got one of the mods I've got actually increases the variation of those kill cams that you get. They are in the base game. Like I say, I've got a bit that increases the variation of them. Okay, did you guys have anything good? Because I don't want to weigh myself down with tat. Lockpick, want that. What did you have, my friend? Nothing really of interest there. Okay. So I'm not going to do a sneak character, I'm not going to do stealth, don't need to worry about bows. There are a couple of spells I'm going to move into when I find them. Right, here we go, into Bleak Falls Barrow. Okay. Couple of pre-dead people.
What was that? They're here.
Hello! I have to admit, this is working slightly better than I was expecting it to, with the flames as I charge towards them. Anything good? Gold. What's over here? Novice chest. Here we go with the lockpicking. Got to find our sweet spot. There we go. Random, I'm going to want that. Hide helmet. So one of the bits I'm going to start looking at now is what's called the weight to value ratio. So it's weight to value 25, which means it's worth 10.5 gold for, well, yeah, 12.5 gold for each weight, which that's over 10. So we'll work with that at the moment. I mean, I won't get that amount when I sell it on, because the amount you manage to sell things is tied to your speech skill, which is why just buying and selling stuff increases your speech. But we can have a look. Nothing in that one. So I got lucky with this sword. I think it's a steel sword, which is, yeah, tier up from the very basic iron one you begin with. Potion of magic. Right, and there will be around the corner. There we go, there's a chap there. Now we can go and fight him. He's actually deceptively tough. So if we just wait, he acts as a warning for us. So he'll go and pull that lever. And... oh no, he's dead. So that tells us not to pull the lever because something's going on. So what did you have on you? 25 gold. Torch will be useful. Okay, so here we have our first Skyrim puzzle, which... they're kind of famous, they're all over the place, they are everywhere in Skyrim, and they normally revolve around these symbols. So if I drop back down here, we've got 3 pillars here, and you've got to work out what these pillars need to be set to pull the lever and not have it kill you. I could take time to work this out, but there's one down here, and you'll notice there's 2 up there with a gap in the middle. The gap in the middle is a bit messed up because this one actually fell down. So we know it's snake, snake, whale. So we come over here, snake, snake, whale. There we go. And even at the bottom you can see you've got a little arrow so you know which side it's looking at. And we pull that and it opens. Getting it back out because you can see we've got some red dots. Potion. Now, when you see a book, just making sure these... oh, they have come up. Let's burn you to a crisp. Where's the next one? No? Okay. When you see a book, if the value is like above 40, it's what's called a skill book, which means when I read this, our pickpocket's increased because this is a skill-based book and reading it gives us skills. I'm not going to read through them. If you really desperately want to, and I flick through the first few pages quickly, you're welcome to pause the game, not pause the game, pause the video, read through them and then move on to the next page. They are worth taking though, because you can sell them. Got another chest here, more gold. Soul gems we're going to want later. There's another skeever, which is basically giant rat. So now we continue down this way. Ah, thought you were there. Okay. And on the table, scroll of fireball and a paralysis poison. Poisons we can apply to our weapons. And the scrolls give you access to spells that you may not actually know yet. I've just heard something in the background there. We're going to have fun with that. So, right, this is an ingredient, and you'll see it says 4 unknowns there. I'm actually going to eat this, which tells me what that's used for, damage stamina, and we can use that in potion crafting if we want to later. It's worth doing. They don't do that much if they are a damaging one, but they're just an extra little thing you've got. Right, there's nothing over here, so instead of getting our sword messed up, let's all just burn through that. Oh, spider's web. What do you think it will be? A big one. Wow. Okay, you've got a lot of health. Okay. Okay, he is doing more than I wanted to there. Ah, and he's got poison. Yes, thank you, I know my magic's low, because I'm using it to patch myself up while this spider's chewing on me.
Keep it away from me.
Come here then. Ah.
Keep it away
Okay.
from me.
Right, and then we want to patch up our magic. Now, one bit they've done, extra poison there, is your magic actually comes back faster when you're not in combat. Don't know why that is, I wish it came back this fast when you were in combat, but oh well. Okay, so patched ourselves up. Whoop, I didn't want to set that to flames. Though now I'm going to need to set my steel sword as my favourite. So sword and flames, there we go.
You, over here.
Cutting down this time because I haven't quite got the mana to
It's coming loose. I can feel it.
do that. Right. Hello, Arvil.
You fool. Why should I share the treasure with anyone?
Oh, he's running off. How quaint. Oh, soul gem. That's more important to me at the moment. So where has he gone? He comes down here. Oh, look what he's woken up. So, these are Draugrs. Best way to describe them, Norse zombies. Okay, there we go, there's our heavy armour because we're taking those hits. Not worried about shields because we're not doing that. I'll take the gems that you guys are carrying. And then, oh dear, Arvel got himself killed. So we have Arvel's journal, his clothes, there's our golden claw. Don't think we're worried about anything else he's carrying there, so I'm just going to leave that alone. There is a pressure plate here that sets off that spike trap. I'm not going to tread on that. It's not worth it for me. However, we can try and draw people into it later. So I'm going to sneak up on this guy. There we go, that's him dealt with. You can normally tell which ones are about to wake up. They look slightly different in the alcoves. So none of those are. He is. Oh, where did you come from? There we go. Okay. Have any of you got anything of interest? No. Right, okay, let's patch ourselves up. So I know I've been picking up health potions, but I tend not to use them unless I have to, because it's worth using them in the middle of combat. Okay, spring trap. Time that, and then turn it off. There we go, that lets us back up if we need to. So, okay, when I say they look slightly different, you can see this guy standing up there. I mean, apparently I didn't sneak very well, but you can see quite ominously he was there. Okay, that works. Oh, we've got another level up. Let's spend that. So we went for magic last time, but I'm not running out too much of that. I'm finding I'm running out of stamina, so let's up our stamina. I know I'm probably not doing this the most efficient way, but I'm just having fun. So I don't want dual casting. We're not on apprentice yet, so I don't want anything there. But I think I'm actually going to go for, considering I'm not doing shields, the swords are okay at the moment. I'm actually going to come into heavy armour, so I increase my heavy armour perk. So my heavy armour now protects me an additional 20%. Now, this is where you can wind up specialising, because if you take all of those kinds of perks in the light armour tree, you later game can actually have light armour protecting you better than an equivalent level heavy armour. Burn this one, and then let's burn the floor, because there's oil on the floor, so that's going to burn, and anyone that comes through is also going to get caught by that. Nice pose there. Okay, that felt fairly safe. Silver ring, that's worth having. More bone meal, potion of stamina. And the other bit with taking stamina that we did just to now level up a minute ago, not that we should need it too much, as it does also increase your carrying capacity. So that one's got a kind of secondary benefit. Okay. Hello, more zombies! Nothing good there, we've got a chest. Soul gem. I'm not worried about the arrows because I'm not planning on doing archery. Okay, let's go this way. Just pressing deeper and deeper in. Now, the bit with Skyrim dungeons that's kind of nice, particularly when you get to them as dungeons, is they are fairly linear. You know pretty much where you're going to go. Now here we've got a pickaxe and an iron mine. So just to show this off, because you get veins around the world, and you can mine them. Now, when we get somewhere a bit bigger, or actually we could go back to Riverwood and do it, you can take the ore that we're digging up at the moment, turn that into iron bars, which you can then use in your weapons and armour crafting. But every now and again you do also get gems and the like out of them. So it can be worth doing. Let's roll a fireball, not worried about the shield. Now, some of you may be going, but Chris, why don't you just grab everything and then sell it when you get back to a shop somewhere? Those that have played Skyrim before, you kind of know where I'm going with this. Shops have a limited amount of money, so you can't sell absolutely everything to them. If they run out of money, they won't be able to buy anything off of you. And as you play the game, you will basically accrue so much money. Hoovering everything up early on is, unlike in some other games, it's not actually that worth it in Skyrim. So I tend to be a bit picky and choosy, and that's where I look at that weight to value ratio, because you can only carry so much, and you don't want to be carrying around jugs and baskets and milk pitchers, because they're all items in the game. Bethesda put it all in there so you can carry them if you want. Here we go, here's our first kind of mini boss. You can see he's taking an awful lot more than the rest. Back off a little bit from him. There we go. And the light goes out in his eyes. Okay, he had an amethyst, not much else. Patch ourselves up. There we go. So at some point I will take that healing perk to make healing spells cheaper. Okay, where's our sweet spot here? Okay, we're in this kind of area. Damn. So we broke a lockpick there. There we go. Garnet. So you can see you garnet 0.1 to 100 value. That's very good on the weight to value ratio. Okay, into our next little area. Okay. Now, each of the different races do get different perks, and I did kind of blast through them in the last episode. One of the perks that the Khajiit, who are the cat people, get, which can be quite useful, particularly in areas like this where it gets a bit dark, is they get basically night vision. There's the switch. Hello! Which, yeah, can help out quite a lot when you're looking in the dark. Come here. More oil on the floor there. Light it up. And there's an archer up there. I kept seeing arrows pop down. Shall we go and find them? What did you have? Potion of magic and some gold. There we go. Take the U out. Now, I'm hoping this is coming through okay. If you guys feel that it's a bit dark when it renders into YouTube and stuff, can you let me know in the comments down below? And then I can turn the gamma and the like up so that hopefully it'll be a bit brighter, because, I mean, I can see, but I want to make sure you guys can as well. So yeah, that feedback would be helpful. Okay, here we have our door, and you'll notice we can activate the keyhole. This is where we use our golden claw that we got. So if I look at the golden claw, you see, if I zoom into it, it's got a bear, a moth and an owl printed on it. Now, these claws are all everywhere in the game. We'll come across them quite a few times, and they all correspond to one of these doors. And when they do, you need to match it up. So there's our bear, moth and owl that was on the inside of the claw. We then insert the claw and chug, 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 chug. Slowest door animation. The first time it's really epic. When you get to about your, I don't know, 7th or 8th door, you're like, just get on with it. Okay. Let's keep pushing through. Oh, bats. I think that's just a little animation to make you jump. And here we have a scene at Bleak Falls Barrow where we've got some bits and pieces. Now, I'm going to sneak around the back here because it's worth exploring. And I happen to know there's some stuff around the back. He says... Where's it gone? Am I being blind? Right, items. Spade up the torch, put that in our left hand. I said I could see, but let's try and make it a bit lighter. There we go. It's a chest. Crack that open. More valuable stuff. Torches in this game are waterproof, so I can go through that waterfall quite easily. You might be able to hear chanting. Go back over to flames because I know what's coming up. So here we have a weird wall that's going to make our vision go all skew if. We've learnt a word of power. We will find out what that means later. In the meantime though, we have a boss that does appear, and you always get a jump on him because he has to climb out. Yeah, you stagger me all you want, buddy. I'm just going to keep trying to set you afire. There we go. Got him. Okay. So he had an ancient Nord Sword of Chills, which is an enchanted weapon, a Dragonstone, and then not much else I'm interested in. Okay, now how does that ancient Sword of Chills compare? So that's 9, and it does frost damage, and that does 9. So this is going to be better, because on the base, you'll see damage 9, damage 9. But this has the additional target takes 5 points of frost damage to health and stamina. So this one actually does 14 damage, 5 of it normal, 4 of it frost. 5 of it frost, 9 of it normal. But you'll notice in the middle now, when I get it out, I've got that kind of pale blue bar above my health bar. That's how much magic charge the weapon has. So when that magic charge runs out, it won't be able to have its magic effect anymore. It just becomes a normal sword at that point. And yeah, so you can recharge those weapons with what's called a soul gem, which you might have seen me picking them all up. But you need to get filled soul gems, so soul gems with a soul in it, and you can use those to recharge your weapon. Now, full disclosure, one of the mods I did and have got installed is basically an auto manager for that. So when my swords run out of charge, it will tell me, and to be fair, the base game tells you, but the base game will make you pause, go into your menu, use a soul gem to recharge it. I've just got a mod that just auto-applies the smallest soul gem I've got to keep it going. So I don't need to pause, should hopefully improve the flow of the game, improve immersion, not make it just suddenly dip in and out. Right, and here we are back outside. So, that's all snuck around there. Now we can drop down here. And we are here on the map. And here is Riverwood, where we were earlier. So we actually went up this path here, into Bleak Falls Barrow. We've gone all the way through it, and now we've come out here. So we're going to head back to Riverwood. In fact, this was part of the reason I'm not playing on survival, so I can just fast travel back to Riverwood and hand that back in. We've got a level to spend actually as well, I've noticed. Now, one thing that you can do with levels is when you level up, it automatically refills your health, magicka, everything. Pops it straight back up, so even if you're on the verge of death, if you level up at that point, it will fill everything back up. I'm not going to do that because I consider that a bit of a cheese. That's not the intent. I'm not going to bank levels to just use during a fight, so I am going to be leveling up quote-unquote normally.
The sooner you find the claw, the sooner our lives can get back to normal.
It's handy.
Show those thieves not to steal from Luke and Valerius.
Well, Lucan, we happen to have the golden claw.
You found it? There it is! Strange. It seems smaller than I remember. Funny thing, huh? I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
Okay, and let's do some shopping.
Thank you so much for taking care of those thieves. The Riverwood Trader is back to the way it used to be.
What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
Okay, so this is Lucan's bit. I'm going to jump to mine first. I'm going to sell my amethysts. Sell that. Sell that. Sell the foot wraps. Sell the garnets that we've been picking up. And that hide helmet. So you'll notice, do you remember I said it was originally 25? You'll notice now I'm trying to sell it on. It's only 8. I want to keep that iron ore. Keep those soul gems. I'm not going to use the scrolls. You can have the silver ring. I think that's all I want to... Oh, yeah, we can sell him that book. See, it was 60 when we were looking earlier. It's now only 19. So we'll sell that back. Right, and what have you got? Adventurer backpack with a bedroll. It's part of the Creation Club, so one of the downloadable bits. That's not the backpack I want, and they're actually pretty easy to make, so I'm going to make that when we get a little bit further on. Do you have anything of interest? And the major backpack is what I want. Ring of Minor Magica. Now that could be interesting. And this is what I mean. You can see I've already got 2,000 gold just by running around. I've not gone particularly out of my way to do that. But increasing magic by 20 points might be useful for me at the moment. I'm not wearing any rings. We've got some spells. None of which are what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm going to take that ring. Okay. So my gold goes down, his gold goes up, and that's what I mean. You can't just grab everything and offload it, because they'll run out of gold to buy it off you. Okay, so I'm going to finish the episode by leveling off. Or leveling up. You'll notice now my magicka says 130. Let's go with health this time. And this time, seeing as we're using our sword... Though actually, I know what I'm going to want to do. I'm going to want to increase conjuration, and there are reasons for that I'll get into next episode. So, like I say, I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. If you have enjoyed the content, please feel free to add any likes, positive comments below. Subscriptions would be great, and if you really get on, feel free to put the bell on if you feel I've earned that. Other than that, thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.